Hey guys, Thunderstruck MTV here. If I sound happy, it's because I'm freaking stoked. It is finally time for my midterm review, I guess, on my 2026 Specialized Chisel. It's the frame only option, and it is the it's an EVO. So I'll put the build video at the end of this, and it'll pop up, and also all the build specs as it sits here tonight in this video. They will all be in the description in the video below. So let's go ahead and stop yammering. Let's get into it. So right now I have got 11 rides totaling 149 miles. 19 and a half hours on the bike. I think that's the big number. That sounds like a lot. 19 and a half hours on the bike is where I'm at. So I'm going to break this review into my thoughts into two areas. Number one, it will be the objective, where it's just a fact. And then the second one, we'll have three different sections of my subjective, which will be my opinion, okay? Before we get into that, super important that you know this. I am coming off 7.5 years of nothing but a hardtail. Most of them on old Greeny up here. Oh my gosh, old Greeny's been relegated to the wall. No. Anyway, most of them have been on that. So you have to take that with a grain of salt, right? 7.5 years, nothing but a hardtail. You have to know that, okay? 58 years old. I like to ride mile munch. I like to ride mountain bikes. SoCal high desert. I like to do longer rides. Most of my rides now are 15 miles, about 2,000 feet of climbing. I like to do just good old-fashioned mountain biking, okay? No park stuff, no big, long alpine ascents. You get the idea, okay? That's where I'm sitting at. So let's go ahead and get into real quick the objective. Objective is very simple. Far and away, this is the best paint I have ever had on any bike in my entire life. How it came out of the box when I built it, I was blown away. It's automotive grade all day long. There's not even a single swirl, very little orange peel. But what I'm mostly speaking to, after almost 149 miles, 150 miles, I've got a little chip there. I have got maybe one like up in there where rocks will, get wedged in there and get slung up. And I have got like one or two down on my down tube. That is it. That's 150 miles. This bike over here has just over 300. I mean, just over, like 305, 308, something like that. And look at this. This is the Santa Cruz Chameleon version 8. Same trails, same dude, same tires, and this is twice the mileage. I hope that's coming through. Please come through. And look at that. It is just peppered with white chips and everything else, okay? So, and this is the second bike. This is the second over here that I'm pointing to. That's the second bike, okay? And if you want to find out what that means, go check out my Santa Cruz stuff there. That's the second frame. That's the better painted frame. I got a warranty replacement. So, Specialized. Fantastic job on the paint. Best paint I've ever had in terms of looks and in terms of durability. This bike will never look like that Chameleon over there, even I think in 10,000 miles. It's fantastic. So that's going to lead us to now my thoughts, my opinions. I'm going to just do three different categories, sort of in the order I think most people are going to be wanting to know that are stopped by here to check out the Chisel. And first is going to be Thunderstruck. How does the darn thing pedal? It's a cross-country bike. How efficient does it pedal? I think I'm the perfect guy to answer that question. I really do, because I'm coming off a hardtail for 7.5 years. Even though I'm not a racer, any way, shape, or form, I'm a regular dude who just loves to ride mountain bikes. But I'm coming off a hardtail that is as efficient as it gets. To sum up real quick, and I'll get more into it, of course, like I always do. If a scale of 0 to 10, downhill bike is a 0, and my hardtail over here, or old Greeny hanging on the wall over there, that's a 10, okay? This here, I thought about this, and I'm going to go with my first gut. This is a 9. This bike is a 9, and how it pedals, how efficiently it pedals. It is super fast, giggly type fast, okay? I have about 3/4 of a mile of sidewalk to ride before I start my official dirt here in the high desert. I refuse to ride on the road for fear of death. So I ride on the sidewalk, looking down, no pedal bob that I can see, shock movement at all, yoke is not moving, anything else. I pedal squares at best, probably triangles at worst because I don't have clips, so I'm on flats. I don't have a very high cadence, if that matters. I like to stay right around 70. I'm not a high cadence dude. I'm more of a power master than a high cadence spinner. And so I feel nothing there, no pedal bob there. All of my normal trails, normal riding, I feel nothing. The bike is wicked quick. There's 3 different areas on my first climb. That's a very, very long 20-minute climb to get to the top. I would say each one's about 2 truck lengths. 2 truck lengths of the whole ride, each one, and it's just super, super freaking steep. A lot of people walk it. I refuse to. I go in first gear. That's a 30 tooth in the front and a 50 tooth in the rear. I get in first gear, I sit down, and I'm making up that damn thing, even though it's only as long as a truck or maybe 2. And right there, I feel a little bit of power taking away something. Something's happening there where it takes a little bit away, okay, a power away. I can feel it. I continue up the climb, and then it's over. I continue up the climb, and it happens again towards the top. It's this last kick in the nuts right before you get to the top. But on the last 2, they're really, really rough and chunky and rocky. So while I have the same sensation that something's a little bit slower than the hardtail over here, this has so much more traction that I have not yet spun out going up. I make it maybe 7 out of 10 times on a hardtail because you just you hit one of those rocks and I spin out. This one has so much more traction, and I haven't had it to bobble yet. So again, I don't know how else to say it. It pedals, it exceeded my expectations. Again, I'm not a racer, but boy, I know what efficiency is coming from a hardtail, and I'm giving this a 9 out of 10 on how it pedals. It is absolutely ridiculous. I'm running 28% sag. Santa Cruz recommends 25 to 30. I am running 28%, which is about 10 to 12 PSI more than the Rockshox Trailhead app says for my weight. So there you guys go, about 28, 29% sag, and this thing is an absolute freaking rocket. Okay, number 2, second part of this, in my opinion. How does the overall package ride, Thunderstruck? How does it ride? How does it, the frame, the geometry, on and on? Well, now this gets a little more technical because I built this bike for me. How many of you out there are going to build a Chisel EVO with a Pike 130 in the front, a 42 mil, look at that green bowl, that's badass, a 42 mil stem and 50 mil rise bars, right? I don't know how many of you are going to do that. I did. I built it for me, for all my limitations I have with my spine, the whole 9 yards. So I'm coming at it from how I built this bike for me. Compared to my Chameleon V8 over there, version 8, in the overall handling, descending, railing, everything, it is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. It handles really well. It's stable at speed. It turns from left to right really well. It leans well. The only negative I will say about this, and I think this is more of a Thunderstruck problem than a U problem, is because of the shorter stem and the higher rise bars. Sometimes it can feel a little bit hard to get weight on the front wheel on some of my flatter, higher speed, no bermed, high desert corners. So I'm kind of having to relearn on how I weight the front end with my actual hands on the grips just to get a little bit more weight there. But again, I think that is a me thing, the way I built my bike for me, than it is just the actual general bike thing. Those that are going to go with a 50 mil stem or even a 60 and some like 25 mil rise bars, you probably won't have that issue. But it does everything I want, and this is all I can tell you is this. I have a 2.21 mile loop on my ride. It's my favorite. I PR'd it back in 2018 on old Greenie over here, 2018. So I was like 51, PR'd it there. I have tried every single time. I try every single time. Very low risk. It's got everything. It's got 12th gear. It's got 3rd gear. Across the mountain, down. Most of it is down and flat compared to up, but there is some climbing. My PR was, I think, 16:09. 16 minutes, 9 seconds. First time out on this bike. First ride out on this bike. You guessed it. I broke into the 15s for the first time ever, and I think it was 15, like 51, 1553 is my new PR on this bike. How did it handle Thunderstruck? That's how this bike freaking handled. There you go. And it's just everything, that loop is everything you'd expect mountain biking to have desert riding. So that's kind of where it handles. The last thing I think some of you are going to want to know is what's the rear end like? Is it supple? What does the rear end feel like? And that's where I'm like, ooh, because again, 7.5 years on a hardtail, my opinion is going to differ than someone who was 7.5 years on a 160 or 70 mil ooey gooey enduro bike, right? So we're gonna have different things. To me, coming off a hardtail, to me, it's supple. It's got a nice magic carpet ride. Take that with a large salt lick, not even a grain of salt, but a salt lick, okay? Because when I very first ride, it's about, like I say, a little less than a mile to get up to my dirt. And as I got onto the dirt, finally from the sidewalk, I got onto the dirt. Guys, I probably went maybe 100 feet and just started laughing. And the reality kicked in of, I have not done myself any favors being on a hardtail for 7.5 years in regards to my spine fusion and my spine surgery and all that. I admit that. I'm fully here. No worries. But it was just so buttery in terms of how it handles. I have not yet bottomed out. I have not been close to hitting that red ring to the 40 millimeter mark there. I don't know if you're supposed to or not, but I haven't got close. It's about 5 mil off. No hard bottom outs. And I do have 3 jumps, 1 road jump and then 2 drops I like to do. It handles fantastic in terms of rear suspension. That being said, faster shoots, faster high-speed stuff, especially with a lot of braking bumps, so repeated hits. The rear end gets overwhelmed fairly quickly. It's a single pivot flex design, so it's just only so high tech, and it does get overwhelmed pretty quickly in that scenario, and the rear end will start skipping much like a hardtail would, only it's kind of like a soft tail. So if you prioritize that over pedaling efficiency, you might be better off with a specialized, whatever, stump jumper, a little more 140 trail, something like that. It's up to you, the viewer, to sort of do your pros and cons and what's important to you and what's not important to you, right? For me, guys, I built myself a lightweight trail bike that pedals like a cross-country bike. Now, if that doesn't sound freaking fun, I don't know what it would be that you need. I guess maybe you're doing downhill stuff or e-bike stuff or whatever else. But again, man, I don't know how much it weighs. I haven't weighed it. I'm afraid if I weigh it, I think in my head it's going to be 29 pounds. I'm afraid if I weigh it, it comes up to 31. I'll have that negative thing in my head of, oh my God, now it's harder to climb. I just don't want that in my head. So guys, gals, I'm sorry. Not going to weigh it. Don't know what it weighs. It weighs what it weighs. And, we go from there. So again, this is a trail bike through and through that, again, pedals like a cross-country bike. So if that sounds like something you're looking for right up your alley, I cannot recommend this thing enough. So that was kind of a quick drive-by. We're already at 13.5 minutes. So if I missed something, if you were hoping for something more, by all means, hit me up in the comments and we'll get into it in the comments. I always try to answer thoroughly in those comments and there's, just hit me up and I'll help you there. I will say this, I don't want to spoil my channel going up, but we got some videos coming out of this. I have learned some things going from the hardtail to this full suspension. Number 1, the fork. This fork was on this bike over here, the exact fork. I took it off. It was perfect over there. Did all the settings over here. I had to relearn everything about the fork. That's just one example. We'll talk more about that why in some upcoming videos. I'm going to compare this bike directly to my Santa Cruz version 8 over there, hardtail, and we'll talk about that more in depth of what I think more about each bike. I just wanted to give sort of a quick overview for the goods, the bads. I tried to come up with the bad, guys. So far, I do not have a bad for this bike. I wish I could sit here and tell you, oh yeah, this, it can't all be roses. So far, it literally is. PR in that loop, that 2.21 mile loop, absolutely has put a smile on my face, because I'm not the fittest that I've been. I was much fitter at 51 than I am 58. I'm getting back there after my surgeries and whatnot, and I'm getting there. But if that doesn't speak volumes on that whole distance that what this bike can do, guys, gals, I don't know what does. So again, I hope I kind of covered everything of what you guys were looking for or hoping for. If I didn't and I swung and missed, by all means, hit me up in the comments, and we'll go back and forth until I can answer your question, okay? So other than that, the only change is, again, that, man, look at that. Look at that freaking top cap with that. I found a perfect color green, right? Perfect color green to kind of go down to there. Yeah, just a little something to say, hey, that's Thunderstruck's bike. So anyway, guys, gals, I hope all is good when this is released here in December of 2025. I just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you, to yours, whatever that holiday season means for you and yours. I hope you guys have an absolute fantastic time with family, with friends, and love and laughter. And probably won't have another video here by the first of the year. We might. I get bored sometimes. And if I do, cool. If not, we'll see you next year. And if you have any questions, let me know. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.